Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Dakota from Everyday Life, the channel where we talk about everything that happens in everyday life. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. You guys know I'm a new channel trying to grow. Well, today we're going to talk about racism, discrimination, how Black people feel, how white people feel, and how foreign people feel. And I'll show you some clips on and how pastors feel. I have some clips on that, and how Latinos feel. I don't have any clips on that, but I can certainly tell you about that. So I was just scrolling through YouTube doing some research since President Trump has been elected. You know, things have changed. People were getting threatening emails and threatening text messages. I don't know about emails, but they're getting threatening text messages. My son just told me that he's a college kid, and he was walking down the street near the college, and a young man had on some kind of Jewish whatever thing on his hoodie or whatever. And an old lady just came out of the blue, didn't know him, didn't know anybody. Bunch of people around, hustle and bustle city. An old lady just came out and just started beating up on the boy. It was a college kid, about 20, 19, 20 years old. And she was an old lady, 70, 80, 90, 100, who knows. But she just started beating up on the boy. And she was screaming, "We are people, Palestine, get out of Palestine," just beating him. And luckily, he didn't hit her back. I mean, who could stand a blow from a 20-year-old man? Not me. But he didn't hit her back. And people pulled her over. She was very emotional about her people in the Gaza Strip. Now, if you remember, I did maybe 6 videos ago. I did a video on the new border czar, Tom Hosen. Tom Host. Wait, was it Tom? Yeah, he's the new border czar. But wait a minute. Let me backtrack. We're talking about we're not talking about Trump and his cronies and the Mexican border and Latinos. We're talking about Palestine. Anyway, the lady beat the boy up, but he didn't hit her back. But anyway, I have a clip here of these twins. They go around looking for clips on racism. And this guy picked up their YouTube video. So it's kind of like bam, bam, bam. But it's information and we all need to hear it. So listen to this man and then listen to the young ladies, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. I won't bore you with the whole thing. So let's listen and see what they have to say. All right. It is so interesting. And here we go. Bam.
Strap in because this interview is going to make you feel like you're going back in time.
Yes, it is.
So you want to live in a white-only country?
Not necessarily white-only, but a country that is clearly based on a European model in which whites will basically remain the overwhelming majority in perpetuity.
Okay, how do you achieve that?
Well, that's an excellent question. Donald Trump has got some first good steps in mind. He wants to make sure no more illegal immigrants come into the country, and he wants to make sure that all illegal immigrants here go back. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He wants to put at least a temporary ban on Muslim immigration.
What happens with Asians? What happens with African Americans? What happens with Latinos?
What happens to my
You presented me with a very limited view of the United States.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Mara.
Yes, that was a very, very limited view of any land. So let's hear what these young ladies, they're, like I said, they're from Kenya, and it's good to hear what young people, because this is our future, what they think about people here in America.
And I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, we came across a very interesting video, and this was of a palm-colored person who was being interviewed, and in his own opinion, he was saying that America should belong to only palm-colored people, and in his opinion, he wanted Latinas and Black Americans to be resettled somewhere else that is not America. And this is because in his own version, he thinks that African people are very stupid, followed by African American people who are equally stupid as Africans. And then he says, when it comes to the spectrum of intelligence, palm-colored people are the only people who are intelligent.
Yeah. She says pound-colored people. It's just funny the way that different cultures say different things, right? Let's continue. She's funny.
He also goes to say the only people who can be compared to palm-colored people when it comes to intelligence is North Asian people. Yeah, and he specifically mentions the North Asian people, right? Yeah, so if you're from the east of Asia, west of Asia, south of wherever, you might be just as dumb as the Africans. Right. So guys, it's quite interesting that a palm-colored man would go on an interview, because it's not a recent interview, okay? Right. And in his interview, he was saying how he wanted Donald Trump to win and why he would be the best person to lead America, because he believed that Donald Trump would put measures in place to make sure America becomes a white-only state. America, in short, America becomes clean, and by cleanliness, all immigrants and people who are not palm-colored should be relocated out of America. How he
Now, how would everybody think? How would you get a whole country to be one color? It's not even possible. You cannot get America to be completely white. That is an impossible feat. That's like taking the sun and moving it. It's not ever going to happen. Equally, that's like taking Africa and taking every white person, any or Asian or whatever, out of Africa. It that's even more less likely. It is not going to happen. It's impossible. Differences is what make the world go round. That's what makes life fun. Not racism and discrimination, but we're all different. So let's continue to listen and see what the twins have to say.
He packaged his words. He said that he wanted the borders to remain and only white. Let's see how far that takes him. Anyway, guys, before we talk too much, let's play you the video and then we come back and talk about it. Let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here.
You're saying the United States is a place anybody can come and turn it into anything you want, and the people who built this country and established its institutions, if they glimmer away, so what? You are promoting a process that will reduce my people to a minority. You want more powerful Latinos. That comes at the expense of my people's power.
We're 17% of the population,
Right.
and we only have 3 senators. So therefore, we don't have the political representation that we deserve.
And you want more and more and more.
Of course, because we only have
How
3
much?
senators.
How much political?
At this point, 14 senators.
And 50 years from now, how many would you like?
Let's talk about 50 years from now. In 2044,
Yes.
white non-Hispanics will become a minority. Is that what you're afraid of?
Mr. Ramos, it's fantastic for you, for my people to lose power and become a minority. That's fantastic for you. How does it feel for
Because
me?
it is our country. Mr.
Our
Taylor.
country, our
It is our country. Don't you think we both have the same rights in this country?
I think that despite this nonsense in the Declaration about anybody being anyone, white
You
people,
don't
white
think
people,
we are all created equal?
no. What you want to do is change this country into an entire nation in which white people will become refugees in their own land
So you don't-
if your vision comes through.
You don't want to live a...
Okay, I'm sorry to keep stopping, but white people becoming refugees in their own land. Is this man bipolar or something? No, well, no, it's not. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but God forgive me. But what I'm saying is he's making no sense. Now, this video had a bunch of comments in it. Let me just read to you a couple of comments. And I'm not racist, I'm not prejudiced. I'm just reporting the news and I'm just telling you what people are saying. I don't know who's leaving these comments. White people, black people, Puerto Rican people, I don't know. But one man writes, Native American want white man out their country. Okay. Someone else wrote, when you say for us to go back, remember your origin, which is true. We all have an origin. And whose origin is here in America? Not mine, not this man's. And the girls, well, they're from Kenya, so they're good. Okay, one more. Imagine that. The land thieves telling everybody to get out of the land that they stole. So, and I'm looking at the pictures of the people. These are white people, these are black people. Everybody feels the same way. Okay, let's continue. This is, to me, this is weird. All right, let's go.
Alongside Mexicans.
Now, why is it wrong for me not to want my neighborhood to change? If my neighborhood is European, if my neighborhood they don't keep chickens in the backyard that crow at 3 in the morning.
What are you
They
talking
don't.
about? That's a complete stereotype. That's a complete stereotype.
Yes, and stereotypes are all true.
It's a racist stereotype what you're saying.
Oh, racist! Give me a break.
What are you going to do with the thousands of Muslims,
We certainly
American citizens, who are serving in the military?
I'm sure that we just couldn't possibly survive with all those Muslim Navy Rangers. Yes, I'm sure that's true.
That is not right.
No, I'm talking
You
about
cannot make
Muslim.
fun of people who are saving our lives.
They want special holidays and special food.
So if you don't like their religion, you don't have to join them. That's fine.
No, they are. Wait,
But you can't discriminate against them simply because you.
Of course, anyone should have the right to discriminate against anyone he wishes. And the point is,
But not by the law, Mr. Taylor. You can't do that.
I think the law is absolutely incorrect.
Do you feel that whites are superior, are more intelligent than blacks?
I think, on average, whites are more intelligent than blacks, and North Asians are more intelligent than whites.
How can you say that?
How can you think otherwise?
Mr. Taylor,
Why
what are you...
evidence would you have to think that a pygmy is, on average, is just as intelligent as a Dane? Why would you think that? The entire record of history is completely consistent with the assumption that black Africans are less intelligent on average than Asians or Caucasians.
That's absurd. That's repugnant and absurd.
Repugnant to you?
Yes, of course.
Why would you even entertain the possibility that on average a pygmy is as intelligent as a Japanese?
The comparison that you are trying to make, it is simply impossible because of historical circumstances, because economic conditions, because of the
More
movement.
excuses. We have to be willing to say to all those who are non-European, we wish you well, but this territory is for us. And sorry, we have...
Okay. This man is weird. He says this territory is for us. This territory, it doesn't belong to me or my people. This territory doesn't belong to him or his people. It doesn't. It belongs to the Native Americans. And I think even before the Native Americans, there were some Asian, I forgot what they call them, Asian people here. I forgot their name. But now, if he said, I want all of my people to go back to Europe and build from there, then that would make sense. That would make sense. So my thing is for him and people who may feel like him, okay, the reason America is a melting pot is not just because of the settlers and slavery and things like that. That's not why it's a melting pot. If all that ugliness still happened, it would still not be a melting pot because white people would be white people, black people would be black people, Chinese people would be black people. But we're all mixed up now. Sometimes you can't tell who's black, who's white. You can have a black person with lighter skin than a white person. You can have an Indian person with darker skin than a white. You can have everything. And why is that, sir? Why is that? That's because of sex. Okay? If no men of different races than what they are had not have had relations with women, then there would be no melting pot. So you can have your cake and eat it too. If you want to stay pure, whether you're white, black, or Latino, okay? I'm not talking about any race here. I'm just talking in general terms. If you want your race to stay pure, then you should only have relations with your kind. That's why it's impossible to have one country that's all one thing. It's like he's not dealing in reality, okay? If that was an Asian man sitting there talking, in Asia, I just want Asia pure. I don't want any half black, half white Asian kids, half Indian, Latino. I don't want any. Then don't have relations with anything but an Asian woman. 1 + 1 = 2. I digress. Let's continue.
Have the right to be us, and only we can be us.
This regressive mindset is destroying people.
Yeah.
It's not allowing them to experience life to its fullest, and it's keeping them hating one another for things that cannot be changed about themselves. So, this is one of those instances where I'm going to be intolerant. I am intolerant to intolerance. Right, the people who fled the European model wanted to start something exactly the same over here. Is anyone going to tell them that there's undocumented whites in this country? Anyone want to let them know about the Constitution? Someone want to fill them in on the mindset of people fleeing religious persecution in the Middle East? You're trying to turn it into whatever you want. Oh no, what are you going to do when you have to exist on the concepts of merit and the content of your character? How dense do you have to be saying someone wants more, like there's some gold hoarding dragon, when you're just not giving anything up whatsoever, even for proportional representation? Scared. You're scared. Because you know that the way that you treat minorities is completely inhumane, and you believe that these people are just as depraved as you are. But they're not. And Jared, you're kind of proving your own point, but not in the way that you think. What the fuck do you think Latinos are? That's entropy, brother. The only thing that doesn't change is the fact that everything changes. Do you think Mexicans are the only ones who keep chickens? Have you ever met a white lady in a brunch hat who hasn't talked about wanting to start a coup of her own?
Yeah.
This guy has never picked up a weapon for his country in his life. Our tribal ape instincts still continue to have an influence on how we exist in society when it comes to our skin color and what happens to be between our legs. But that's not what makes us us. What makes each person themselves is what makes them themselves. Kind of reductive, right? It's the things that we enjoy doing. It's the things that interest us. It's the knowledge that we have. It's what we can bring to society that is not our amount of melanin or what's underneath our clothing.
So, guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. You know, the funny thing is that, I fail to understand how European Americans, they normally don't like being called European Americans, whereas they prefer being called white Americans, and any other ethnicity should be called by where they believe they came from. Right. And I saw a very interesting comment from where we got the video on TikTok, and somebody asked the person who was being interviewed there, they asked him, how many undocumented white people are in America for him to start saying that all immigrants should be taken out of?
Well, I don't think that matters to this gentleman how many undocumented immigrants are in Caucasian immigrants are in America, because I don't think he would care. So, you know, what are you going to do? I thought that was interesting, and the gentleman who was talking, the one on TikTok, he was very eloquent with his words, and I appreciate what he said. And I don't understand the why he was right when he said that people are just you're not ruining the people that you hate lives. You're ruining your own life when you live in hate. You see, you notice like people who are hateful, right? If you guys notice, as they get older, they look so ugly, right? As opposed to a person who's kind and gentle, as they age, they age so beautifully. Their skin is still clear. They don't have as many wrinkles in their skin. They're happy with everybody. But the evil ones, they start to look bad. This like they get diseased because the hate just eats them from the inside out. And that goes regardless of whether you're Caucasian or you're Asian, or even if you're black. You look bad when you're a racist and you age. But maybe they don't care. That's on them. If they don't care, I don't care. Well, now let's say we're in the same church and we're still in the same pew. This is a pastor, and as you can see, he's a Caucasian pastor, and he's telling people how you need to conduct yourself when it comes to hating other people for no reason. His video is about 20, excuse me, 20 minutes long. I'm not going to keep you guys on here to listen to the whole 20 minutes, but once again, the Twin Shang Out Kenya girls, they found this video. Shout out to them. Let's listen to this video.
I'm not struggling to find compassion for the police officers in my congregation. What I'm struggling against is people that I have known and loved that are saying things like, this happened over 100 years ago. Why are they still going on about it? That, well, you're talking about stuff that ended a long time ago, Pastor. Why can't they just forget about it and move on? Well, why do we have to have a Black History Month? Where's our White History Month? Or even the stupid comments, even stupider than that, like Juneteenth? When do we get our holiday? It's called July 4th. What I'm struggling with is, how do I answer these people? How do I pastor these people? How do I come against mindsets that have been embedded for decades, that have been inbred in them, and they think they are righteous and justified, and they don't see the sin in their own heart? And how do I pastor that?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren and I'm Maureen. Right, so in this episode we are going to be reacting to a video of a palm-colored preacher who was calling out his audience and his fellow palm-colored preachers. Right, and in this episode we're going to be showing you how he reprimands his audience, and not only his audience, also preachers in America. And this is because they have played a big part or perpetuated how Black people are treated in America. He doesn't only criticize police officers, he also says that churches have played a very, very big role in where America is right now, pertaining the treatment that Black people get. Right, so we don't talk a lot. Let's just jump into this video and then we come back and talk about it. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
I've got friends that are officers and I love them and I hurt for them. But right now, what I'm seeing is the pain in my brothers who are Black and my sisters who are Black. And I do have compassion for the police. But when I have betrayed a trust, it is my responsibility to find out how to fix that. And to my white pastor friends, we have a horrible track record in the church of betraying trust. So I just had a comment on someone on Facebook, and this is what helped me, and this is where I think we've got to go. We've got to have the dialogues, and we've got to have a place. My Black pastor friends and my Black friends, I've got to know what to do because you know my heart, but many of you know my heart. And so you know when I ask these questions, I'm asking because I really want reconciliation, okay? I really want to see this healed. And I don't want another hashtag. I don't want another hashtag. I made a comment, and I didn't even make a comment. I posted celebrating Juneteenth. And I had a guy comment, didn't Abraham Lincoln take care of that? Are you going to tear down his statue too? And my thought was, what in the world does that have to do with anything? Did you not even read what the holiday is about? And that's the issue. There is a lack of desire for education because we have people that think they already know the answer, and they don't understand that they keep doing the same thing, responding in the same way, and nothing changes, but it's all the Black people's fault because they just won't get over it. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Please hear my heart. Guys, we're in a situation where, and Ubi, you're right, if the church doesn't get this right, the city's not going to get it right. But until we start having the honest conversations and having a place like this where we say, so what do we say? What do I say to my friends? What do I say to change their minds? We're not going to get it right. Does that make sense? Please hear my heart. So I'm walking in and I said to Brother Clarence, I said, I need a little perspective. Because here's what I didn't answer him. I deleted this guy, deleted his comment because I didn't want, it was stupid. And then I went and posted something about sometimes you delete a comment because you want to save somebody their last thread of dignity. Brother Clarence said, yeah, but he's asking a question. He's thinking. You've called his attention to something, and now he has to go and think about it. And now he's asking a question. You see, that's a perspective that I didn't have. It's from a perspective of someone that's already wrestled through some issues that I'm wrestling through now. Does that make sense? Guys, this is where we got to go. This is where we got to go. Because the issue in the church is deep. It's
what I want to know is how some people feel like this pastor feels, and at the same time, other people feel like the man who was on before him, the one who wants to change the whole America to be white. Where is the bridge? What turns some people left and some people right? Okay, that this is like in my own particular race, what would turn somebody left and right would be probably experiences. Yeah, definitely experiences. If you've had bad experiences with a race, then I guess you might start to feel that way about the whole race. I don't know. Humans are fickle. Let's continue.
deep. And what's keeping it in place is the defense and the deflection of the white people that continue to think and to say, you've got to get over it, you've got to get over it, you've got to get over it. And the whole time they're continuing to perpetrate it over and over. It has nothing to do with police. It has everything to do with a systematic mindset that is embedded and embedded in our culture that has to change. And it begins when we begin to repent of things that God has condemned. It begins when we come together as pastors and say, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if I lose half my congregation. But listen, I'm a proponent for unity in the city and have been for 8 years. And I've seen God move, and I've seen God do things, and I've seen God lay groundwork. But until the races are unified, the church will not be unified the way God wants it to be unified. And until we repent, white pastors, until we repent of our ignorance and our deflection and our defense. Why? Because the one who broke the trust has the burden of responsibility of pursuing the reconciliation. And we do it at whatever pace we need to do it. Not we need to do it, but the black church needs to do it. Whatever pace they need to go at. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because Jesus came to where we were. He did not expect us to come to where he is. He came to where we were so that he could walk with us into where we needed to be. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Guys, listen. If there's an infidelity in a marriage, if I cheat on my wife, I don't, yeah, shame. Yeah, thanks, Carla. It didn't happen. If it did, I don't have the luxury of saying, honey, you just need to forgive and go on. I don't have the luxury of saying, why can't you just get over it? Especially if I continue to cheat. If I continue to break a trust, if I continue and I have year after year after year after year of a trust that's broken, every time you turn around, the trust is broken. Every time you turn around, the trust is broken. And here I am saying, I love you, but you just need to go on, and I break a trust. I love you, but you just need to forgive me, and I break a trust. Why don't you forgive me? Where's your bitterness? Why aren't you being like Jesus and forgiving me like you're supposed to? Guys, I've heard all those things said from people that I have known and loved my entire life about the black church. Do you see the stronghold? The burden of responsibility is on the part of the person that has broken the trust. I didn't mean to be out of line. I didn't mean to be out of line. I hope you...
That's a good analogy, right? The burden of proof is on the person who broke the trust. The burden of proof is on the person that broke the trust. And that's in any situation where we're having differences with someone who we think have wronged us. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's continue.
You hear my heart. I hope you hear my heart.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about that video we just played you, right?
How about that? So, I don't know, we got two sides to the story. One man wants everybody disintegrated, and another man wants people to come together. And these young ladies and myself is just bringing things to light so you guys can see what's going on in the world, here in America, there in Kenya, everywhere. So I hope you guys like the video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.